Oh, holy mother of God, I finally get to talk about the Defenders. Oh my God, guys, a whole lot has happened to me over the last week. Life happened, life was kicking my ass, I had some family stuff pop up, I had an illness pop up, and just I had Comic-Con also that I went to last week, Colorado Comic-Con, and so it's been a very trying week and a half since I've seen the Defenders, and as a result, I have not been able to actually talk about the Defenders until just now. But thankfully, everything is out of the way, and I finally get back to doing what I love best, which is getting in front of camera and sometimes making a fool of myself talking about shit that I really like or love or hate. And there will be mild spoilers for this. I'm not gonna touch on everything, but you might hear some things during this review that might be like, hey, I didn't need to know that, I haven't finished yet. I apologize. I'm trying to straddle both sides of the fences so that I both endear myself to subscribers and also frustrate the hell out of anybody watching, because I don't pick a side of spoilers or non-spoilers. It's just what I do here. Defenders is finally the big Netflix Marvel team up that we've been waiting for a few years now. It takes all the characters that we've seen before. It takes Daredevil, it takes Jessica Jones, it takes Luke Cage, it takes Iron Fist, and it combines them all in one show. They finally cross paths. They finally have that big crossover event that we've been hearing about for a few years, and they all finally get to team up and work together to take down the Hand. We finally get a big picture look at what the Hand has been working towards this whole time. We finally get introduced to the 5 fingers of the Hand, which they're like the 5 big cojones. They're literally the 5 big fingers. They're the big bosses, the head honchos of the Hand, led by Sigourney Weaver. So the Hand is doing something in New York that's going to put a lot of people in danger, and so the Defenders are each working their own individual cases, and right off the bat, that's awesome. I really love the organic way that they tried to weave the Defenders into the story. It would have been like the easiest shit ever if they just created like a big random ass event and it was just like, oh, well, here you go. Danny Rand and Luke Cage just happened to bump into each other, or oh, Daredevil and Iron Fist, they just ran into each other at a coffee shop and, oh, hey, how are you doing? Oh, well, the Hand attacks us. Well, we have to work together now. No, instead, they had all the characters doing their own thing, and then they kind of just organically overlapped and crisscrossed into each other, and I thought that was awesome. Jessica Jones is working on a case. Luke Cage is looking out for the kids in Harlem. Iron Fist and Colleen have been traveling the world since the last time we saw them, trying to track down and take out the Hand. Matt is trying not to be Daredevil, but at the same time, he's struggling with that, and at the same time, he's still trying to be the best lawyer that he can be. So when their paths cross, it feels organic, it feels earned, and it feels story-based, as opposed to it just being, well, they're superheroes, we have to find some stupid reason to bring them together. When you have 4 different people with 4 different backgrounds, 4 completely different personalities, you're not going to mesh right away. There's going to be some friction, there's going to be some tension, there's going to be some conflict. All of that makes perfect sense. Luke and Iron Fist, as you saw from the trailer, got into a fight the very first time they saw each other. At the same time, you do understand that you need to go through all of that, because then you can get them to a place where they're like, okay, we are a team and we have to work together. And again, it doesn't feel rushed or forced, it feels natural. The banter and the dialogue between these characters, I mean, I could watch that shit pretty much all day. I am surprised at the pairing that I didn't expect I would like as much in this season. I actually ended up liking the most out of all of them, and that is Matt and Jessica Jones and their dynamic. Luke Cage and Iron Fist, I figured, okay, they'd fight, and then we'd get the whole hinting towards the Heroes for Hire future that is in their future. If you read the comics, you know what the Heroes for Hire is, and you know that Luke Cage and Iron Fist eventually do grow on to become best friends. A little bit of a hint of a bromance there, but it's not really the focus. But the thing that I love the most is Daredevil and Jessica Jones, and how they both pushed each other away and also pushed each other and motivated each other to be the heroes that they're supposed to be. And then you end up finding out that, hey, these two have more in common than you would actually think. Not only is the banter and the dialogue between the characters really well done, but the team-up fight scenes are really, really well done. I mean, I was kind of disappointed with the Iron Fist action scenes. This show takes it back to where the action scenes for these Netflix shows should be. I don't know if they got the same showrunners and fight choreographers as Daredevil season 1 and 2, but it feels like there is a higher uptick in quality. I don't know if that means the same thing because I'm too lazy to look it up, but I assume that they got the same showrunners from Daredevil season 1 and season 2 to helm the fight scenes. The action scenes, some of them are downright glorious. There's a big brawl in episode 3 in an office building that's really awesome. There's a big brawl, a big throwdown with the hand in the finale that is really awesome. There's just something very happy and satisfying about seeing Madame Gao get bitch slapped with a big ass metal pipe that Jessica Jones was handling. I don't know why, but that scene made me laugh, and it made me cry, and it made me feel tears of joy on some part. Because let's be honest, Madame Gao has had that coming to her for a few seasons now. Sigourney Weaver as the big bad, as the big whole, she's, I guess, the middle finger. She's the fuck you finger of the hand, I guess. Kind of mixed with Sigourney Weaver at first, because at first I'm like, okay, Sigourney Weaver herself is giving a great performance. She really comes off as menacing and cold, and, you know, how you would expect a member of the hand to be, especially someone who's lived as long as she has. As far as her actual character, I couldn't really get into her. I felt like there was something missing. It felt just kind of by the numbers, kind of, oh, well, there's not really a reason for me to care about her being the villain of the hand. But then when I binged this show the second time, I actually found myself rooting for her a little bit. I actually find myself understanding a little bit more about why she is what she is. It is a personal tie-in to her past, or a past life of hers, that makes perfect sense when you look at the things that she's trying to get accomplished in the present. How it all ties into her relationship with Elektra, which, spoiler alert, Elektra is back. I feel like if you saw the trailers, you should know that. All of that started to turn her into a really complex and interesting villain, and then she is Cottonmouth. Look, I'm not gonna spoil exactly what happens, but if you have seen Luke Cage, and if you liked Cottonmouth as a villain, and I say that she got Cottonmouthed, then you should have a pretty good idea, a pretty good picture of what happened to her, and you should just know that it was bullshit. I'm sorry, it just was. I think my biggest issues with this season are, there is still some filler, and for a season that is 8 episodes, like, they trimmed the fat down from 13 to 8, I feel like the story should have been leaner and quicker and got to the point, and there's still like 2 episodes in the middle of the season that feel like, okay, we have to hold everything in place here so that we can build towards the finale and build towards bigger shit happening in the finale, and there's just an episode or 2 where you just feel like not much is happening, and that just feels like filler, and I'm like, this is the Defenders and it's 8 episodes. It shouldn't be filler. I shouldn't have to deal with filler as much as you guys are still trying to put us through that. So that got a little irritating. The biggest problem with the Defenders, though, is the supporting characters. A lot of the supporting characters come off as very irritating and kind of, I don't know, like they're slowing the progress of the story, so to speak. Don't get me wrong, some of the supporting characters are still there, and they're still as badass and interesting as they always were. Colleen from Iron Fist, I really loved having her back. She has her own personal story that she's dealing with alongside Danny Rand's in this season, and I actually like seeing her back. I like seeing Claire. Claire was pretty cool. She helped out. She was, you know, the badass nurse that we've seen her in the previous other shows, so she was cool. Hey, Misty Knight is one of those great characters that was a complete nuisance in this show, because all she really does in this season of the Defenders is walk around telling everybody, hey, you need to tell me what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what's going on. I want answers. Please tell me. I have questions. Answer my questions. I'm going to keep you here until you answer my questions. Keep me in the loop. Tell me what's going on. And she doesn't really do anything except wander around asking people what's going on. And it just kind of feels like, okay, Misty, I get it, you're a cop and you're a detective and you want to know, but it's like, if anyone should understand this mystical, crazy superhero shit, it should be you, seeing as how you spent an entire season dealing with Luke Cage and his superpowered exploits. The biggest culprit of annoying supporting characters that didn't have to be is Karen and Foggy. Now look, I got tired of the whole Foggy whining about Matt being Daredevil thing in season 2 of Daredevil. Firstly, Foggy became annoying as shit in that season. I feel like if anybody should understand what Matt's going through, it should be the guy, his best friend, who knows that he is Daredevil, and instead it just turned into a whole season of him worrying about Matt, and then him fussing at Matt, and then him be like, I don't want you to die, Matt, and I'm just like, okay, I get it, Foggy, I get it. At the end of Daredevil Season 2, Matt told Karen that he was Daredevil, and I'm like, okay, I want to see the fallout from that. I want to see if it fixes things between them, and things are sort of fixed, but they're kind of fixed in a way like they're trying to force Matt into a personal life rehab that he doesn't need and didn't ask for. In this season, he's struggling with not being Daredevil, and you feel like every time Karen and Foggy are on screen, they're just giving him shit, and they're just like fussing at him for being Daredevil, and it's like, seriously, I'm sorry to borrow a Jay-Z quote, but either love me or leave me alone. Seriously, guys, either support him or shut the fuck up at this point. I don't want to keep hearing about you guys whining and bitching and fussing about Matt being Daredevil. I feel like you're his friends, and Karen, you're possibly his lover. I feel like you guys should just support him at this point. Like, you guys should just know that this is who he is, this is his life, and if you're not gonna support it, then okay, just shut up about it. Stop getting on his case about the shit. In the end, The Defenders is a pretty solid team-up show, and it's kind of of better than I honestly expected it to be. They actually turned Iron Fist into a much more likable and badass character in this show. They teased at certain things going forward. They closed the chapter on the hand, and the fights themselves when they teamed up, that was pretty awesome. Going by a new TV rating system, because I don't want to confuse people with my rating system for my movies and shit, gonna give this one probably 4 out of 5 supers. Yeah, 4 out of 5 supers. Where would you rank The Defenders among the Marvel Netflix shows? Comment below, let me know. Please like and subscribe to the Superfan Show, and as always, if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.